Good morning, all. Yeah, fine. Let us start the next chapter of your mathematics, right? So, we are going to start differential calculus, integral calculus, and then we are going to discuss about vector calculus, right? Now, let us see the applications of your calculus first of all. You'll see, first of all, we have to discuss about differential calculus and integral calculus, and then we shall discuss about vector calculus. That is the second part, right? So in the first part, we are going to discuss about differential calculus as well as integral calculus, right? Now, I'm just raising the question against of you all, right? Where we are using integration and where we are using differentiation. In electrical engineering world, if you find, right, no one, right, நீங்கள் இப்போ நிறைய சப்ஜெக்ட் வந்து நம்ம படிச்சிருக்கோம் இல்லையா, லைக் we had been discussed about electrical machines, power system, network, right, power electronics, signals system, control. So which are the subject if we have gone through, right? If you select all those subject, right, is there any subject without differentiation? Is there any calculations that we did without a differentiation or integration? No. So application of differentiation and integration is very vast, right? Usually, what is the role of your differentiation and what is the role of your integration? The major role of your differentiation is it is helping us to find out the rate of changes in a function, right, with respect to time period or with respect to someone, right? Now what do I mean? For an example, I'm just starting the class at 7:05 a.m., right, morning. Now I have full energy now, right? So my level of the energy is 100%, and with this I'm just initiating the class. I'm just starting, and I've started delivering the content to you all. Now what happened? So when I am started, there is a delivering some amount of energy. There is when I am started delivering the content, right, I have to spend some amount of energy, right, from the total energy, right, that I consume. Now out of that energy level is what happens slowly while increasing the time. We are going from 7:05 to 7:15, and then I should travel 7:30, 7:45. Like when the time is keep on increasing, when we are reaching 8 o'clock, what will happen? Almost I would have spent 1 hour, near 1 hour. So what happened? My energy consumption, that is my energy level, is keep on decreasing. Again I'm continuing the classes up to 9 or 10 o'clock. Then what will happen? So my level of energy is keep on decreasing with respect to time period, right? So that decrement, right, in a slope, right, if I draw the curve with respect to that is energy versus time period. If I'm just drawing the curve in between energy versus time, then what happens? My energy level with respect to time, right? So initially I'm having 100%, right? So total energy. Then what happens with respect to time period? My level of the energy is keep on decreasing, right? At t tends to infinity, I can say after a certain time period, the time period is exactly not known, I may reach zero. My energy level will be will become zero, right? So this is what. Now in order to know this one, see this, that is the changes in, right, the rate of change in energy with respect to time period. So the rate of changes, right, with respect to time period is simply defined as, that is called differentiation. So indirectly, differentiation means, right, whenever there is a change in a variable with respect to someone, that can be differentiated, that is, that can be represented in the form of differentiation. Right now, with the help of this differentiation, we can find the rate of change, right? It is known as a slope. Just you can observe, it's a simple slope between energy versus time period. Yes or no? Yes. So it is known as slope only. So that is called slope only. This slope will gives us, that is this steepness will gives us the changes in any selected person with respect to someone or with respect to some quantity. Clear? Now here in this this is the basic primary application of your differentiation. At the same time, this differentiation also, right, this differentiation will also help us to find out the maximum value and the minimum value of a selected function, because here we can easily predict, right? It is simply deals with the rate of change with respect to the person, right? Appo rate of change abdina, that rate of change might occur in between maximum and minimum. Yes, right? For an example, if I'll select a sinusoidal signal, right? So if I'm going up with a sinusoidal signal, if you observe this one, see your sinusoidal signal is bounded in between +1 and -1. right, with respect to, for an example, this is x-axis. Here in case of sine, right, in case of sine we are going from 0 to 2 pi in a selected cycle, or you can say, right, so throughout the period from minus infinity to plus infinity, right, the value of the sine function sine omega t should be restricted in between minus 1 and plus 1 only. That is the maximum value of your sinusoidal signal. You cannot go beyond 1, right, and you cannot go beyond minus 1, right. So that is the restricted range of our sinusoidal signal. Like that, if I am traveling along with the sinusoidal signal, right, with the help of differentiation, suppose if you don't know these variables, then the differentiation will going to help us to find out the maximum value and the minimum value of this function, right. So that is the basic application of your differentiation. How will I find the maximum and the minimum value with the help of this differentiation? For an example, right, since this sinusoidal function is not known to us, right, okay, that is sinusoidal is given, but the maximum and the minimum value of that function is not known. So let me rub this one. So let me demonstrate. If the maximum and the minimum value of the function is not known in the sense, how do I find this one? That's very simple, right? Since it is a single quantity, right, that is sinusoidal, and it is keep on varying with respect to time period. For example, a function f of t is simply defined as sine omega t. Now, I would like to know the range, or I would like to know the maximum and the minimum value of the function, right, at this specific point, right. In order to know the maximum value of the sinusoidal signal, right, just I said differentiation is going to be the, that is differentiation will going to help us to find out the maximum and the minima. Yes, so just differentiate this function with respect to omega t. If I'll differentiate this function with respect to omega t, then sine omega t will become cos omega t. And then after completing the differentiation, just equate this differentiated term with respect to 0. If I am just equating it to 0, then what happens? Cos omega t is going to be 0. We all know when cos omega t will going to be 0. Cos omega t is going to be 0 whenever your omega t will become pi by 2 or 3 pi by 2 or 5 pi by 2 or 7 pi by 2 and so on, right. For all values of, that is all multiples of 1 by 2, 3 by 2, 5 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, my functions cos omega t is going to be 0. So the conclusion is, right, after doing the differentiation I understood, right, at omega t equal to pi by 2, that is the first point, at omega t equal to pi by 2, cos omega t is going to be 0. Yes, and at omega t equal to 3 pi by 2, again my function is going to be 0, and so you can continue, right, you can continue these things, right. So the conclusion is what? இதை நீங்கள் ஜீரோக்கு ஈக்குவேட் பண்ணதுக்கப்புறம் we are getting some function, that is we are getting some point with respect to this one. Differentiation வந்து ஒரு function வந்து நீங்கள் differentiate பண்ணிட்டு ஜீரோக்கு ஈக்குவேட் பண்ணதுக்கப்புறம் we are getting some value. Now if I'll substitute this value into the function, right, இப்போ இந்த வேல்யூ வந்து நீங்கள் ஃபங்க்ஷனில் substitute பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னா value of the function at omega t equal to pi by 2. What is the value of sine pi by 2? Which is equal to plus 1, right, that is equal to plus 1. Similarly, what is the value of sine of 3 pi by 2? Sin 3 pi by 2 equal to minus 1. Sin 3 pi by 2 equal to minus 1. So, we can obtain the maximum value and the minimum value of the sinusoidal function or not? Yes. So, with the help of differentiation, first thing is we can find out the rate of change or the changes in the slope or steepness. We can easily find out, that is with the help of differentiation. Second thing is we can easily find out the maximum and the minimum, or see there decrement in the function can be predicted, increment in the function can be predicted, right. So everything can be easily understandable with the help of differentiation. That is the major application wherever you go, right. Is there anything, if you take the electrical quantity, either you can travel with the electrical networks, power system, power electronics, நீங்க எந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் எடுத்தீனாலும் you can see the application of differentiation, right. So its application is very vast. I can say it's numerous. Fine. Okay, now let us try and discuss about integral functions, right. Now what is the difference between integration and differentiation? That's very simple. Both are what? Anti-derivative of each other. For an example, differentiation க்கு நீங்க anti-derivative எடுத்தீங்க அப்படினா, for derivative if we take anti-derivative, then we are getting integration, right. For integration if we take anti-integration, then that is called a differentiation. So both are inverse of each other. Now what is the major application of your integration? Integration ஓட major application என்ன அப்படினா, you can select any area and you can find out the area of the function. Like you can find out the surface area, you can define the line of your function, we can calculate the volume of your water or volume of a certain medium, right. So everything, right. So we can find out the volume like that, right. So integration, the major application of the integration is it is helping us to find out the line, surface and the volume of any selected quantity. Like we also know, right, we are trying to find out the average value of the many functions with respect to time period. That is simply called, in integration, what we are trying to do, we are calculating area of the function only, right? So the conclusion is, there will be a interrelation between differentiation and integration. They are called what? Differentiation learning na anti differentiation will give you, will simply called integration learning na anti integration will give you the value of differentiation, right? So both are inverse each other. Clear? So let's see all of these applications, right, all these things we will see one by one, right? And fine, before going, that is entering into the subject, right, learning some basics from our that is 9th standard 10th standard mathematics formulas, that is trigonometric identities, are very important for us in order to do the calculations in this chapter, right? Because they are very basics, right? I am not going to repeat those things here, so I am just in the starting itself I would like to give those conclusions, identities. I am just refreshing your mind. I know many of you guys are knowing these things, right? But the thing is, if you are not knowing these things, please refresh yourself now from this moment onwards to try to register these things into your brain, because trigonometric identity application is very vast. Without knowing the basics of trigonometric identity, you cannot do anything, right? That's very basics. I'm just giving some of the trigonometric identities, right? And then we shall slowly enter into the differential calculus, and then we will talk about integral calculus, and then we will discuss about vector calculus. Okay, so we are going to discuss about, totally we are going to consider 3 chapters. Fine, right? One second, I had collected all the formulas together. Let me demonstrate. Okay, fine. Let us discuss about trigonometric identity. Just to keep the heading, trigonometry identities, right? So we have to discuss about identities. Just to keep these things into your mind before starting this lecture, they are very important, right? First, we have to discuss about radian to degree conversion and degree to radian conversion, right? So radian to degree, first of all. Now, how will you do that, right? Radian to degree conversion in the sense, for an example, I have a person is called x, right? Now, when we are trying to convert this value x, that is in radiant, right? So the value of x is, I have something is called x radiant. Now, I would like to write this function in degree. If you want to transform this function into degree, just to take that function multiplied by 180 divided by pi, such that this function will be transformed into degree, equivalent degree. Right? Let us discuss about degree to radian conversion. Let us discuss about degree to radiant conversion. Radian conversion. For an example, I have a certain function that is called, let us consider p degree. I would like to write its equivalent radian value such that this p degree, right, should be multiplied by, right? So I will have to, let me do like this. Just we have to multiply it by pi and we have to divide this function by 180 such that this function will be transformed into its equivalent radian, right? So for an example, I have a variable, right? So I'm having a variable is called pi by 4, right? Now I would like to, this is in radiant, right? So pi by 4 radiant. I would like to know its equivalent degree value, right? I don't know. So what I have to do, just to take this function 5 by 4, multiply it by 180 by pi in order to transform the value from radian to degree. Just I'm multiplying it by 180 by pi such that pi getting cancelled, right? 180 by 4 will give you 45 degree, right? So the equivalent degree value of the pi by 4 should be is, it is what? 45 degree, right? So for an example, let us consider pi by 2. Right, these are all known variables, right? So you may get clear idea. That's why I'm going with this one, pi by 2 radiant. So if you want to obtain its equivalent degree value, what shall we do? Just take this pi by 2 multiplied by, once again, 180 upon pi such that pi getting cancelled. 180 by 2 should be equal to what? 90 degree. Right? So that is how we are transforming any variable from radian to degree. Let us take some of the example for degree to radian conversion. Right? For an example, I have a variable, right? So I have some value that is called a degree, right? That is 30 degree. I would like to write its equivalent radian value. If you want to write down its equivalent radian value, just consider 30 degree. If you want to transform any value from degree to radiant, you will have to multiply that value by 5 by 180 such that I am just multiplying it by pi by 180. Now what happened? 10 is getting cancelled. 6 times of 3 will give you 18, such that pi by 6 is the equivalent radian value for 30 degree, right? For example, if I will consider 45 degree, if I am considering 45, already we took that same example, right, in order to get the clear idea. Now if you want to transform this 45 degree in its equivalent radian, right, equivalent radian in the sense you'll have to multiply it by 180 by, sorry, pi by 180, such that, right, so 4 times of 45 will give you 180. Yes, so the equivalent radiant value of 45 degree is equal to pi by 4. So that is how we are transforming any value from radian to degree and degree into radiant, right? So let me rub this one. Okay, next let us discuss about even and odd functions. I know already we had been discussed about even and odd functions in signals and system, right? Same thing, right? We are not going to discuss any new things here, but we have to write the relation for trigonometric identities, right? So let me collect. For an example, when your function is going to be even function, when your function is going to be even function in the sense I have to select a function f of x, right, and then I will have to replace x by minus x, such that if f of x and f of minus x are going to be equal, then that function is called even function. Do you all agree with me? Yes. So similarly, when we are discussing about an odd function, right, odd function in the sense f of x should be equal to what? Minus f of minus x, or we can say f of minus x should be equal to minus f of x. Both are same only, right? So both relations are same one, right? So that is called odd function, right? Now if I'll select our trigonometric variables, if you are going up with our trigonometric variables, now we all know when we are selecting sin x, for example, a function, right? So example number 1, let us discuss about example number 1. So that is I am selecting f of x equal to sin x. I am selecting f of x equal to sin x. If your function is an odd function, then what will be the resultant? If f of x is sin x, then what will be the value of f of minus x? That is going to be sin of minus x, which is equal to minus sin x. Okay, now if you notice these two things carefully, listen guys, that is equal to what? Minus sin x is known as f of x only, no? Sin x is known as f of x only. So what is the relation that we got here? Minus x equal to minus f of x, such that sin x is always said to be an odd function. Sin x is always said to be an odd function. It means sin x is equal to let me do like this. It means sin of minus x equal to minus sin x. We know that things, right? So we know these things already. Just to do remember this one, because that is the odd function, right? So let us discuss about the next person. Let us take cos x. You please do it by yourself. Let's take cos x. If f of x equal to cos x, right, then let us see. We all know f of minus x equal to what? That is the second example. F of minus x equal to cos of minus x. But what we know? Cos of minus theta equal to cos theta only, na? So that is cos x only. So what is the conclusion? F of x and f of minus x both are equal, such that cos x is said to be an even function. Cos x is said to be an even function. So we can write cos of minus x will always be equal to the value of cos x. Okay, cos of minus x will always be equal to the value of cos x. Let us discuss about tan x. Yeah. Now when we are looking for tan x, that is third one. If I will consider tan x as f of x, then find the value of f of minus x. That is going to be tan of minus x, or I can say minus tan x. Tan of minus theta equal to minus tan theta, right? So the conclusion is what? which is equal to minus f of x. What is this? So tan x also said to be an odd function, right? Whereas we can write tan of minus x is equal to minus tan x. Tan of minus x is equal to minus tan x. Okay. Okay, let me rub this one. Let us take few more variables. Next, we have to discuss about tan mudinjada. So let us discuss about cot theta patti eludroma. Let us discuss about cot x, right? So f of x is equal to cot x. Now f of minus x minus is equal to cot of minus x. So this is cot. Cot of minus is equal to also, that is also minus cot x only. So that is going to be minus cot x, such that this is also said to be an odd function. Okay, so I can say cot of minus x always be equal to minus cot x. Cot, not cos. Okay, now let us discuss about secant. So f of x equal to secant x. Now if I will consider f of minus x such that it is going to be secant minus x. See, cos and secants are reciprocal to each other. So I can say secant of minus theta also equal to what? Secant x only. That is also secant of minus x equal to secant x only. Such that I can say f of x equal to f of minus x. So the given function is said to be an even function. Clear? And don't forget the relation is secant x and secant of minus x, which will always be equal. Let us discuss about the last term, secant theta, cosecant theta, right? So that is the last one. F of x equal to cosecant x. Then what is value of f of minus x? That is cosecant minus x, which is equal to minus cosecant x, because it is the reciprocal of sin theta, right? So what is the conclusion here? I can say f of minus x equal to minus f of x, right? F of minus x equal to f of x, such that the given function is said to be an odd function. Once again, that is said to be an odd function. Of course, this is said to be an odd function. That's all, right? So this is over. So what is the conclusion here? I can say cosecant of minus x is equal to minus cosecant x. That's all, right? Class is going good. I think class is going good, right? If you have any problem, please immediately make WhatsApp call. Okay. Okay, let me write some of the identities. Please wait 1 second. Okay, tell me what is the expansion of sine 2 theta? Sine 2 theta, that is equal to what? 2 sine theta cos theta, right? Don't forget whichever the relations that I am giving here, they are very important, right? So second term that I have been collected is tan 2 theta, right? That is for tan 2 theta. So we can write two formula. Okay, let me write the first one. This is the one, this one standardly we are using. Tan theta is equal to 2 tan theta divided by 1 minus tan square theta. Okay, that is the second identity, right? Don't forget, all are very important. Just should try to keep it with you, right? Next, cos 2 theta. Cos 2 theta நீங்க எப்படி எழுதுவீங்க, right? So cos 2 theta can be written as, actually we can write two formulas here. So let me conclude. First, sin 2 theta cos 2 theta, right? So let us write sin 2 theta. Sin 2 theta formula என்ன எழுதுவீங்க? That is 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2. Same relation for cos also, right? But here this is correct? No, that is sin square theta, right? Sorry guys, please forgive me. Sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos theta divided by 2, right? So let us consider cos square theta, that can be written as 1 plus cos 2 theta divided by 2, right? Now I think I wrote wrongly in the sentence, right? Wait. Yeah, I wrote wrongly in the notes. Okay, that's fine. Let's continue. Next, sine 3 theta, right? So write down the next one, that is sine 3 theta, right? So sine 3 theta is equal to 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta, 4 sine cube theta. See, these relations are, while solving the problems, at sometimes you may face some complicated questions, right? If you do remember these things, then you can avoid the mistakes. That's why I'm giving these things, right? So just to keep it, I too don't remember these things while writing, but just before going to the exam, just refresh it once. That's enough. So next, cos 3 theta, right? So let us write cos 3 theta. That should be equal to 4 cos cube theta, 4 cos cube theta minus 3 cos theta, 3 cos theta, just opposite to sin theta, right? Yes. Let me write the next one, tan 3 theta, right? So next one is tan 3 theta, which is equal to 3 tan theta minus tan cube theta. Guys, if you want to know these formulas, please refer CBSE 10th standard mathematics and the 9th standard mathematics, right? CBSE, not our state board, because there you can find some very good notes for mathematics. So 3 minus I think this is tan square. I made mistake. This is tan square only, right? Just to make note of it. Okay. Let me rub this one. Let me write few more identities, right? I think I have written the expansion for sin a plus b, sin a minus b, cos a plus b, cos a minus b. They are also very important. Please should try to make very clear notes. So let me rub this one first. Yeah. So next, let us discuss about sin a, sin b, right? So now tell me, what is the formula for sin a, sin b? Wait a minute. Sin a, sin b, right? Which is equal to cos a minus b minus cos a plus b upon 2, right? Yeah. Next, the second term is that is cos a cos b, right? So second one is cos a cos b. I know that things we all know these things, right? So that is going to be cos a minus b plus cos a plus b upon 2, right? So let me write the next one, sin a cos b, right? So sin a cos b we all know, right? Sin a cos b. So let us consider that is sin a minus b plus, right, cos a plus b divided by, sorry, sin a plus b, sin a minus b, sin a plus b, right, divided by 2, right? So let's write cos a sin b, right? So that is cos a sin b, right? Yeah, that is going to be what? Cos a sin b. Now that is, first we have to consider sin a plus b minus sin a minus b upon 2. Clear? Just to keep these things into your mind. Yeah, let me write the next one. Okay. See, I have done few more calculations. I'm just giving those things also. Please should try to keep those things with you. While solving the problems, at sometimes you can avoid the mistakes, right? Okay. The relation is first one, tan of pi by 2 minus theta. That is the first question that I had been raised in my notes. That is equal to what? Cot theta. We know that one. Second, sine of pi by 2 minus theta. We know, right? Sine of pi by 2 minus theta, which is equal to what? That is cos theta. That is the answer for the second one. Third, I took cos. Cos we know, right? So cos of pi by 2 minus theta, which is equal to what? Sin theta. right? So let us discuss about the next one. Cot of pi by 2 minus theta, which is equal to tan theta, right? Next, I think I took cosecant, right? Cosecant is equal to secant only, right? So cosecant theta, that is cosecant pi by 2 minus theta, which is equal to secant theta, right? Just do remember, they are very important while solving the problem, right? Similarly, secant, we can write secant pi by 2 minus theta, which is equal to cosecant theta. Okay, that's all, right? I think I took few more things. Yeah, I have done periodic identities also. So let me rub this one. So let us write the periodic identities. So next, because they are also very important while solving the problems, at sometimes they will give some twistings, right, with the periodic identities. If you don't remember these basics, there you'll get struggling, right? So just I have found those things also. Let me write, right, periodic identities. Right now the question is tan of, I think first I took tan of theta plus n pi only I took, I do remember, right, which is always equal to tan theta, right, which is always equal to tan theta. Guys, n is an integer, don't forget, n is an integer. N is an integer, that's very important. Okay, fine. Let us consider second term. I think I took sine only. Yeah, sine we all know, right? So sine of, let us consider theta plus 2 pi n only I took, that is equal to what? Sine theta, which is always equal to sine theta 2 pi n, right? Next, I took cos of theta plus 2 pi n, that is also equal to what? Cos of theta plus 2 pi n. These things already we had been observed, right? So cos of theta plus 2 pi n also equal to what? Cos theta, right? Next I took cot. For cot we have to consider pi only. Cot theta plus pi by, that is theta plus pi n, which is equal to what? Cot theta only. Next I think I took cosecant, right? For cosecant we have to make revolution like sine, so we should go up to 2 pi. So that is 2 pi n, which is equal to cosecant theta, which is equal to cosecant theta. Finally secant theta only missing, no? Secant theta we have to consider 90. See, wait a minute, it is same at what? Cot theta, right? So not cot, that is secant of 2 pi n, which is equal to what? Same revolution as cos, right? I'm thinking another trigonometric identity. Okay, fine. That is going to be secant theta, right? So just to do remember, these are all the periodic identities of the functions. Periodic identities, right? Yes. Okay. Next, I had given few more identities. Let me rub this one. Please, few minutes. Yeah. Next, I'm just raising the question against of tan a plus b. Tan of a plus b. I think, one second, let me check it by myself. Yeah, I'm correct. So tan of a plus b, in the sense we know very well, right, about this formula, because in control system, right, I had used this formula many times, right? So tan a plus b, in the sense numerator will be plus, denominator we have to consider 1 minus tan a tan b. We should consider 1 minus tan a, that is tan a into tan b. Similarly, when we are looking for tan of a minus b, if I have minus, then in the numerator you will have tan a minus tan b upon 1 plus tan a tan b, right? Yeah, right. Next, let us write cot a plus b, right? So I took cot of a plus b, right? One second, let me check it by myself. That is cos only, right? Sorry, I took cot. Yeah, so it's just opposite to this one. If you take cot a plus b, then here we have to consider, right, cot a cot b minus 1 upon cot a plus cot b, right? Next, let me write cot a minus b. Cot a minus b, in the sense we can write cot a cot b plus 1 upon cot A minus cot B. Cot A minus cot B. Clear? So that is cot A plus B. So let us continue our journey with this. Next, see sin A plus B, sin A minus B, we know na. Already I wrote the formula. We can directly write these things from there itself. Anyway, for understanding, let me write sin A plus B. What is the formula? Sin A plus B. Right? 1 second. Yeah. Sin A plus B na formula, that is going to be sin A sin B minus cos A cos B. Right? Similarly, when we are looking for see, am I correct? I think I wrote wrong in my notes. Inga plus, this is also plus only, na? Yes, I am correct. So please make notes. Sin A minus B in the sense, we have to consider what? Sin A sin B minus cos A cos B. We know these things, na? Right? I made mistake, I think. Yeah. So let us consider cos A plus B. See, here also I did mistake, right? This is sin A cos B, cos A sin B only, no? Guys, please 1 second. I think morning I was sleeping while writing these formulas. Sorry, forgive me. We know, right? Let me write. Sin means always we will have the combination, that is sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. That is correct, right? Because we are very well know these things, right? Sin A minus B in the sense, that is going to be sin A cos B minus cos A sin B. Of course, that is correct, right? Let us discuss about cos A plus B. Similarly, when we are discussing about cos A plus B and cos A minus B, now only you are having that relation like cos A cos B and sin A sin B, right? Now we can write, if cos A plus B I am considering, then here you are going to get what? We know if it is plus, in the mid we have minus, if it is minus, in the mid we have plus. And the relation is cos A plus B in the sense cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. That is correct, right? Similarly, this is cos A minus B in the sense we know cos A cos B plus sin A sin B plus sin A sin B. Correct. So this is the correct relation. Just do remember these things, that is enough, right? So let us rub these things. See, there are many formulas in trigonometric, right? Now I had collected some of the formulas which are always using, right, in our examinations while solving the problems, right? Because you cannot always use calci. If you do remember these formulas directly. Yeah. Sorry guys, there was a signal interruption. Okay, let's start our journey with this. Let us enter into this chapters, right? So basics are over. Just to keep those formulas with you. Now we are going to discuss about, I said first we are going to discuss about the differential calculus, and then integral calculus, and then we will see vector calculus. We will see all those things one by one, right? So first we are going to discuss about differential calculus, right? So keep the heading, we are going to discuss about differential calculus. Now in differential calculus, right, which are the things that we are going to understand? First of all, right, in differential calculus we all have to know the meanings of functions, right? So let us discuss about functions. First we are going to discuss about functions, right? Anyway, we are lying under differential calculus, right? So we are lying under differential calculus. Now just function abdina meaning enna? Function abdina, a person, he is keep on varying with respect to someone, that is called a function, right? Anyway, we are in differentiation. Differentiation abdina, that is the rate of change in a function with respect to someone, right? So that is called differentiation, right? So understanding the property of the function is known as what? Differentiation only, right? So a person on the see, for an example, I was talking about my energy level, right? So when I have started the class at 7, now it's almost nearer to 8 o'clock. Now what happened? My level of the energy is keep on decreasing with respect to time period. So that is called a function, right? That is called a function. Now how do we define that one? So I have drawn the graph also with respect to time period. My level of the energy is keep on decreasing, that is energy versus time period graph. Now here I can say E is going to be a function of time period T. E is going to be the function of time period t. So here energy is dependent variable, whereas time is what? Independent. Time யாரையாச்சும் பொறுத்து vary ஆகுமா? No, time is always constant. It keep on rotating. It does not wait for anyone, right? So time is independent quantity, whereas energy is dependent quantity. Energy is keep on vary with respect to time period, but time is not vary with respect to anyone. It is keep on rotating, right? So world la எந்த changes வந்தாலும் time மட்டும் மாறாது. Do you all agree with me? Right? world la வந்து இந்த மாதிரி changes வந்ததால time வந்து ஒரு 1 hourக்கு 60 minutes பதிலா இப்போ 80 minutes போயிட்டு இருக்கு அந்த மாதிரி சொல்ல முடியுமா? No. In the periodic revolution there are some changes, but we are not considering those things, right? Fine. So according to the time period, so here my time is independent quantity, E is the dependent quantity. That is called function. A person is keep on varying with respect to someone, right? So let us see. So in function, there are based on the functions that we are considering, we are going to consider two type of differentiation. One is called ordinary differentiation and another one is called partial differentiation. Right, what do you mean by ordinary differentiation and what do you mean by partial differentiation? Right, for an example, ordinary differentiation in the sense my energy level is keep on decreasing with respect to only time period, right? So here my function is only depending on one person. Whereas let us talk about you guys. Now what you guys are doing there, you guys are sitting in front of us, right? You people having some set of a tablet or whichever the things that you want, camera, mobile or laptop, right? What you are doing, your eyes is watching, right? Your eyes is watching the class, at the same time your hand is right taking the notes, at the same time your ear is that is listening the class. So how many tasks are going there? Your brain is strictly maintaining the concentration in order to keep the focus in the class. So there are multiple variables, right, are doing the actions at the same time. That is called what? Partial differentiation. Now my intention is I'm selecting any one of you, right? Or person on this select பண்ணிட்டு I would like to know the level of concentration of your brain with respect to time period. At 7 o'clock, how your brain was being, that is giving its function. At the same time, one more, I would like to know the level of, that is the way that you are taking the notes with respect to time period. 7 o'clock, how was your notes was there? At 7:45, whether you are taking the notes at the same rate or your speed of taking the notes had been decreased, right? I have to check that one. At the same time, I am also closely watching your eyes, whether your guys are closing, that is concentrately keeping your eyes here or not, right? Whether you are mentally present or not, right? In order to know that one, I am just watching your eyes. That is physical present, that is not mental actually. But I can say at from 7 o'clock up to 7:45, right, how many minutes your eyes is deviated from the center, that is from the class, right? I would like to watch that one also. So the thing is here, in order to judge the whole characteristics of you, right, in order to predict the whole characteristics of you, right, towards studies la நீங்க எப்படி இருக்கீங்கன்றதை guess பண்றதுக்கு I should check your listening capability, I should check your brain capacity, concentration level, I have to check your eyes concentration, that is physical presentation, mental presentation, brain will tell that, right? Similarly listening capacity, right? I have to check whether you guys are hearing me or not, right? So in order to, after getting all those ideas, let me make a finalized graph. That graph is depending on what? Your eyes, your ears, your hands, right? And your what I can say, eyes, ears, that's all, your brain, right? So only 4 people are going to, right? So depending on 4 people only, your way of, that is the way that you are taking the notes, it is depending on 4 people, right? அப்ப நீங்க கரெக்ட்டா வந்து நோட்ஸ் எடுத்து அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா இல்லையா? Finalized conclusion is my function is whether that person will understood all those things that I had delivered in the class. That is the question mark, right? Now in order to know that one, I have to check all these things. They are called partial differentiation. There are no big things to understand, right? So ordinary differential equation means single variable in the sense level of my energy is keep on varying with respect to time period. That is called a single dependency, right? So whereas if my function is depending on multiple independent variable like your eyes and your brain and your ears and your hands, if I am taking the, that is if I am considering all these people, then I should check over 3 and check பண்ணி பார்க்கணும். That is called partial derivatives. Sir, there are 4 independent variable, but you cannot simultaneously activate them. You should go with the sequence. First you should check the ears, and then you have to check the eyes, and then you have to check the hand, and then you have to check your brain. Like that, if you are going simultaneous operation, if I am doing simultaneous operation with independent variables, that is called what? Partial differentiation, right? So partial differentiation, that differentiation will helping us in order to identify when more than, if a person is depending on more than one variable, then I have to check that person gap variability, right? And the personal variations வந்து ஒவ்வொரு பர்சனை பொறுத்து எப்படி வேரி ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு, I should check that one, right? That's all. So that is called partial differentiation. So in the function, right, so this function can be defined in 2 ways. One is single valued function, another one is multi-valued function. Single means, for an example, y-axis it's only depending on x-axis, that's all. In the x, either you can consider time, voltage, current, power, temperature, pressure, whichever the things that you want, you can just keep it here. Right now, here in the same way, multiple function in the sense, right, I am considering a variable z that is depending on two variable. For an example, x-axis and y-axis. Based on these two people, your z is varying, right? So similarly, we can also consider time axis. There are 4-dimensional axis, 5-dimensional axis, right? So we can consider multiple number of independent variable for a single person. That is called multiple function. This is called single function. I hope things are clear to you all. Whereas in the single valued function, we are using ordinary differential equation. In the multi functions, right? So multi-dependent variable. If your function is depending on only one independent variable, then that is called a single function. If your function is depending on more than one independent variable, then that is called multi-function, multi-dependent function, right? In that case, what is the conclusion? The differentiation that we are going to use is called partial differential equation. Clear? Fine. Now next we have to understand the limits, right? So limits of the function, right? What is the limit of your function? Limit in the sense we should check, right? Or function when I am traveling along with your function, right? Limit means let me give the definition for limits of the function, right? So let me rub this one. Limits will coming to place, that is will coming to the place whenever we cannot define a certain function. ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன் வந்து எந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு அப்படினே தெரியாம நம்ம அப்படியே ஃப்ரீஸா நின்னுட்டு இருந்தோம் அப்படினா then that is called limit. அப்படினா மீனிங்னா நீங்க ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன் கூட டிராவல் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கீங்க. You are getting different values and different results வந்து அப்படியே சப்ஸ்டிட் பண்ணி ஒரு கிராஃப் டெவலப் பண்ணிட்டே போறீங்க. ஒரு பாயிண்ட்க்கு வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் திடீர்னு என்ன வந்துருதுனா இன்ஃபினிட்டி வந்துருச்சு. சாரி இன்ஃபினிட்டினா அது இன்ஃபினிட்டி நமக்கு தெரியும். இன்ஃபினிட்டி பை இன்ஃபினிட்டின்னு வருது. அப்ப என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? Infinity by infinity value என்ன? Do you all know? No. அப்ப 0 into infinity? No. அதெல்லாம் நமக்கு தெரியாது. அப்ப அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு வேல்யூஸ் வரும்போது how will you define the values? No. So automatically the limits will fall in place, right? இப்ப லிமிட்ஸ் வந்து என்ன பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா அந்த டைம்ல ரைட் அந்த ஃபங்க்ஷனுக்கு வந்து நேரா இருக்க ஃபங்க்ஷன்ஸ் வந்து எந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு, அதோட ப்ராப்பர்ட்டிஸ் எப்படி இருக்கு, உங்களால கண்டினியூ பண்ண முடியுமா முடியாதா அப்படிங்கறத சொல்லிடும். For an example, if I am having a function like this, let me define sin x by x. Let us consider a function sin x by x. That is the given function f of x. Now the question is limit x tending to 0. F of x is what? That is the question. I am just erasing the question against of this function. Can you please find this one? Let's see what happened. So limit x is approaching 0 such that f of x can be replaced by sin x upon x. If I replace x by 0, then it will become sin 0 upon 0. What is the value of sin 0 here? Sin 0 is going to be 0 only, 0 by 0. Can anyone please tell me what is the value of 0 by 0? No, that is called indeterminate part. Nobody knows this value. That is called indeterminate value. Right? So under that point, limits, whenever we are facing the indeterminate point, right, another point, automatically limits will fall in place, right? So the first application of your limit is whenever we are having the indeterminate format, right? So under that point, the automatically limits will started existing, right? And in order to find out the continuity of the function, right? Fine. Appo limit engengala exist agum indeterminate format varumbodhu, which are all called indeterminate format: 0 by 0, infinity upon infinity, infinity minus infinity, right? So like that, if I will have 1 power infinity, right? Let me multiply. Let us continue. 0 into infinity. Let us consider 0 into infinity, right? Suppose if I have 0 power 0, right? Suppose if I have infinity power 0, 0 power infinity, let us consider 0 power infinity, right? That is enough, right? These formats are simply called what? Indeterminate format. They are called indeterminate format, right? So in the மாதிரி formatல வந்து உங்களோட functions வந்துருச்சு அப்படினா that is automatically limits will started existing. Right, existence of limits, it's depending on what. So first thing is whenever there is a indeterminate format, automatically we should talk about limits. And second thing is whenever there is a change in the equation, right? So if you are changing the function from one point to another point, there also we should talk about the limits. If you are changing the function from one point to another point, if the property of the function is suddenly being changed, there also we should talk about limits, right? So there are two cases. One is whenever we are facing the indeterminate format, we have to use we should talk about limits, as well as whenever there is a change in equation or function, we should talk about limits. I will discuss all those things one by one, right? So let us see we have to understand it, right? Let me explain these things in with the help of graph also I can do. Yeah, okay, actually see that this is 0 by 0. Now how do I continue these things further? That things we will see later, right? Anyway, that is called the indeterminate format, right? அது எப்படி further proceed பண்றது அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு we are going to use L'Hospital rule, right? We will see that one later. First, let us understand the limit properly. It means, for an example, if I am having a graph like this, that graph is keep on going like this, that graph is keep on racing. Suddenly, at a certain point, right, ஏதோ ஒரு பாயிண்ட்ல வந்து நமக்கு என்ன வந்துருது அப்படின்னா we are getting 0 by 0 form. Then, in order to proceed further with that graph, anyway, this point is what? There is some indeterminate format. Under that point, we should check the left hand side, right? It is close to that point, and we have to check find out the right hand side of the value, and that value also get close to that function, right? If they are become that is, we have to check, see, the thing is we have to find out the left hand side limit of that function, as well as we have to find out the right hand side limit of the function in order to check the continuity, whether the function is continuous or not after that point, right? Check பண்ணிட்டு if you find any values, just keep that value and proceed further, right? So we have to, okay, it clearly denotes that the function is continuous. Only at the selected point there will be some discontinuity, right? So we will see those things, limits regarding that is continuity and discontinuity, differentiation, everything I will talk soon, right? In-depth explanations will be given to you. First of all, limits will exist whenever we are facing what? Indeterminate format. Just to register the things into your mind, that is enough, right? I don't want to talk too much now because we have to go in a flow, right? So let's talk about classification of the functions, right? So there are some of the standard classifications that we are going to discuss now. First of all, already when I was talking about, right, so when I was talking about the numerical methods, right, in numerical methods, while discussing about the solution for differential equation, I hope you all have remember, I was talking about two type of standard methods apart from Rajikutta, that is called Euler forward method and Euler backward method. Now when I was talking about the Euler forward method and Euler backward method, I only told you Euler forward method is called explicit method and Euler backward method is called implicit method, and I had given the demonstration also why they are called Euler forward method, that is explicit method, why they are, that is why another type of function, that is modified Euler method, why it is called implicit method, right? So just we saw the major difference between them, right? So what type of difference that we saw, that we had been observed, right? So let me define, right? So what is the difference between implicit function and explicit function? Let me define, right? So first let us take some example, then you will get the clear idea, right? For that, let me define implicit and explicit function. Implicit and explicit function. Just observe the two things. Let us take implicit function, let us consider explicit function first. In explicit, for an example, I have a function y is equal to x square, right? And I have a function y is equal to sin x. Yes, of course, I have a function y is equal to x cube upon x plus 4. Now if you observe these examples, see there there are two functions, right? Now this y can also be defined as y of x, and this y can also be defined as y of x. Simply we can say this is, here also I can define y of x is equal to x cube upon x plus 4. Now here, just by substituting the value various values for the x, we can plot the graph, and this is called explicit function, that is forward method. Directly, just by substituting the values for x, we are obtaining the solution for y. That is called explicit functions, right? So there is no what I can say, there is no mixed version, right? So your functions won't be mixed each other, and your functions are, that is if your functions can be, that is the variables of the functions can be separable, right? In case of explicit method, variables of the functions can be separable. Variables of function can be separable in case of explicit method, right? Now what do I mean here? Variables of the functions can be separable in the sense, if you notice these things, in the RHS we have the function in terms of x, in the LHS we have the function in terms of y. See there, in the RHS we have the function in terms of x, in the LHS we have the function in terms of y. Is there any dependency between them? No. Such a type of functions, it means your variables have been separated. That things also we saw in differential equation in mathematics only, right? So the conclusion is what? That is called variable. If your functions, right, if your variables of the functions can be separable, then that is called explicit function. If it is not possible, then that is called implicit. Implicit in the sense, for an example, your function is being defined like this: x square y, x cube y power 5 plus z into x square y square equal to 0. If your function is being given like this, now what shall we do? Can you break z separately, z x y separately? Can you please do it?
No, that is not possible. If your variables cannot be separable, they are always interdependent each other, then that is called implicit function. Right? So let us define the next person, that is called composite function. That is called composite. Composite in the sense it is like multifunction, right? So implicit function in the sense your variables are interdependent each other, right? So let us talk about composite function. The next function that we are going to discuss now is called composite function, right? So let me rub this one. Yeah, let me define composite function. Composite also like variable separable only, but we will have more than one independent variable. For an example, I have a function z that can be defined as f of x comma y. Now just observe the difference between composite and explicit. In explicit, what we saw directly, I was defining f of x is equal to y, that's all, forward method, with only one independent variable. Now if you observe this one, I have two independent variable, but z is what? It is being segregated from x and y. X and y are, x and y might be interdependent each other, like x square plus y, y cube dot x, like that. You may have a function that might be going to be z now. But the problem is here, this x and y are interdependent. Yes, actually they are being cross multiplied each other. But the conclusion is what? Z is being segregated from these guys, no? Yes. So this is also variable separable function only, but more than one independent variables are there, right? So your function z is depending on more than one independent variable. Clear? That is called composite function, right? So let us discuss about modulus. Next we should talk about modulus function. First understand, slowly I will enter into the chapters, right, such that you will be able to get the very clear ideas, right? Till now I have not teach you anything, I know, right? Next we have to understand modulus of the function. Now what do you mean by modulus of the function? Modulus in the sense, for an example, a function f of x can be simply defined as mod x. Now if I will extend this derivation, mod x will become, right, so mod x can be defined as, right, so let me extend, it is going to be plus x when x become greater than 0, it is going to be minus x when x become less than 0, it is going to be 0 when x become 0. Clear? So that is the value of f of x. That is how we are defining mod x. So we all know that is mod x means it can be written as plus or minus x when we are removing the mod. So if you draw the corresponding graph for this mod x, how we are defining that function? The function is going to be like this. This is going to be the curve for mod x, right? Fine. With respect to x, we are defining f of x. I hope things are very clear to you all. That is how we are defining modulus function, right? Okay. Let us discuss about next one. Next we should talk about signum function, right? So let me rub this one. Let us discuss about signum. Signum அப்படினா வேற எங்கயாச்சும் இத பத்தி நம்ம பேசியிருக்கோமா? Yes, of course. Where I was talking this one in control signals and system, sorry, in signals, in the basic classification I had been talked about signum function, right? So let's recapture that one also, right? So next we are going to discuss about signum function. Let us discuss about signum function also. Now how will you define signum function, right? It is standardly being defined as, right, so we are going up with the mod x by x only, such that this function is what? Let's see, actually when the value of x is going to be less than 0, let me define, that is f of x. Anyway, this can be written as, right, first case, right, when the value of x is going to be less than 0, then either நீங்க எப்படி எழுதிக்கலாம், that can be written as mod x by x. Similarly, when the value of x is going to be greater than 0, then mod x can be written as plus x by x. Clear? Right. And at x equal to 0, there will be a discontinuity, right? If you want to extend this discussion further, we can say at x equal to 0, there will be a discontinuity, right? So let us draw the signum function here. Let me drop the signum function. How will you draw the signum? Let's see. Already I have drawn this one, right? Correct? See there, x getting cancelled, which is equal to minus 1 at x equal to 0, which is equal to plus 1 at x greater than 0, right? So x less than 0, we have minus 1, right? At x equal to 0, we have discontinuity, and then we'll have plus 1, right? I hope you all remember, same curve already we had been observed in signals also. I have wrote I wrote this function there itself, right? Now, so let me rub this one, right? So let us consider the next function. I think class is going good, right? Okay, next we are going to discuss about greatest integer function, right? So keep the heading The next function that we are going to consider now is called the greatest integer function. Yeah. Let us talk about greatest integer function. Greatest integer function. Greatest integer function. Now, what do you mean by greatest integer function? It shall be simply defined as, for an example, if you will have a variable is called 4.5, it can be simply written as 4. Now, what is the greatest integer here? The greatest integer is 4. So, just write 4. For an example, if I have a function is called 2.4, what will be the answer? That is equal to what? 2, right? Just we have to consider the greatest integer. Fraction values are not being considered here, right? For an example, if I have 3.7 or 3.8, its greatest integer is what? 3. Just we have to consider 3, right? So that is how we are plotting greatest integer graph. Let's start and draw the flat for greatest integer curve. Greatest integer curve, very simple. For an example, let's take 1, sorry. Let's take 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. Let's take -1, -2, -3. Let's plot the graph. Now the thing is, listen, it can be defined as, the function can be defined as f of x can be defined as, that is integer with respect to x only we are going to consider. X only we are going to consider, right? So let us start our journey exactly from the origin. At the origin, value of x is 0, and then 0.1, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. For all values we are going to consider. For 0 point anything we are going to consider 0 only. Do you all agree with me? In the same format, the greatest integer we have to consider, right? So 0 point anything means you can consider. Let me generally define m denotes any value like 0.1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all values we are considering. So we can say that is equal to 0 only. We can say that is equal to 0 only. Now in between 1 and 2, let's plot the graph. In between 1 and 2, the next one we are going to consider for x. In between 1 and 2 we have to substitute. Enna substitute பண்ணுவீங்க? 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9. For all values we have to consider what? 1 only. So this function will be suddenly shifted to 1, right? So it will be suddenly shifted to 1. Again in between 2 and 3 we have to consider 2.1, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5. For all values of fraction values, the greatest integer is 2 only. So this function can be simply defined as what? 2, right? So let me rub all these things. Now you might get the clear idea. Let's define at 4 it will become 4, right? From 3 to 4 it will become 3, right? Sorry, from 3 to 4 it will become 3, and then in between 4 to 5 it is going to be 4, such that backside also it is going to be 0, and then -1, and then -2, -3, and so on. Clear? So that is how we are defining greatest integer function. And sometimes this is also called step function. This is also called step function. The another name is which is also called step function. I hope things are very clear to you all. Yeah, let us rub this one. Okay. Okay, next we have to discuss about the second one is indeterminate form, right? We saw when I was discussing about the function, I had been, right, so talking about two people. One is called what? So in function, first we should talk about indeterminate format, and the second we should consider wherever the changes in the function, right? How we are defining the changes in the function, right? Okay, let us talk about indeterminate format, right? So first we should talk about indeterminate form. Indeterminate form. So first we should discuss about indeterminate form. Let us discuss about indeterminate form. In case of indeterminate form, right, we have to consider, I told you, right, 0 by 0 is indeterminate form, infinity by infinity is indeterminate form, infinity minus infinity is indeterminate form, 1 power infinity is indeterminate form, 0 power infinity is indeterminate form, infinity power infinity is indeterminate form, right? So these things are like 0 into infinity is also indeterminate form, right? So if I'll find any variables like this, then in order to proceed further, we are requested to use a rule is simply called hospital rule, L'Hospital rule, that is called L'Hospital rule. We are forced to use a separate rule, that is called L'Hospital rule, in order to find out in order to bring the answer for the given function, right? So let us demonstrate. There are various examples are there, right? So let me demonstrate all those things. I had collected many questions that you have tested in your exam already. So let's select and let's solve all the questions. Yeah, please wait a minute. Yeah, so let me take the first one. Anyway, first let me take one example that we took already. Now sin x by x only, the first number solve panikalam, you will get small idea. Then we will take the second example. Example number 1. The question is, limit x is approaching 0, sin x by x is what? That is the question. Now if I directly substitute the values, then I am facing sin 0 upon 0 such that it is in the form of indeterminate. இப்படி இந்த மாதிரி ஃபங்க்ஷன்ஸ் வந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப், ரைட், யூ ஹாவ் டு டூ, யூ நோ நீட் டு டூ எனி சேஞ்சஸ். ஃபர்ஸ்ட்டு ஃபங்க்ஷன்ஸ் எல்லாமே அப்படியே தான் இருக்கும், லிமிட்ஸ் எல்லாம் அப்படியே தான் இருக்கும். நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட்டு கோ டு தி நியூமரேட்டர் ஆஃப் தி ஃபங்க்ஷன், டூ ஒன் டைம் டிஃப்ரென்ஷியேஷன். டேரெக்டாக யூ பை எல்லாம் எதுவுமே தேவையில்ல, நியூமரேட்டர் தனியாக எடுத்து அதை மட்டும் டிஃப்ரென்ஷியேட் பண்ணுங்கள். Your numerator is being differentiated separately and denominator will be differentiated separately. Numerator மட்டும் தனியாக differentiate பண்ணினா cos x, denominator மட்டும் தனியாக differentiate பண்ணினா you are going to get 1, such that now you can substitute the value. X க்கு 0 போட்டினா cos 0 will become 1, such that 1 by 1 will be equal to what? 1. So that is the correct answer for the given function. Clear? Okay, let's continue. Let me rub this one. Let us take all the examples and then you will come to know how easy these functions are. So the second question they had given in your examination is, limit, wait, x is approaching 0 and they said they have x into e power x minus 1 plus 2 into cos x minus 1 upon they took x into 1 minus cos x, x into 1 minus cos x. Its correspondent value is what? That is the question mark. Shall we start our journey? Yes. First replace x equal to 0. If I will put x equal to 0, then x equal to 0 into e power 0 will become 1, such that 1 minus 1 plus 2 into cos 0 will become 1, 1 minus 1 upon x equal to 0, 1 minus cos 0 will become 1. Now if you observe these things carefully, see there in the numerator 1 minus 1 will be 0, 0 into 2 will become 0, 1 minus 1 will be 0, 0 into 0 will become 0, 0 plus 0 also will become 0. Denominator 1 minus 1 into 0, so 0 into 0 will become 0 only. So it is in the form of what I can say 0 by 0, that is called indeterminate format, right? So it is in the form of indeterminate. So I cannot directly write the answer, I will have to apply L'Hospital rule. Now according to L'Hospital rule, just to take the numerator first, limit x is approaching 0. Now if you open up the bracket, இப்போ இதுக்குள்ள bracket நீங்க open பண்ணிட்டீங்க அப்படினா this function will be multiplied by x such that this is going to be x into e power x minus x. Okay, that will become comfortable for us to do differentiation. It will become x, it will become x into cos x minus of x into cos x. Fine. Now let's start our journey with the numerator first. Numerator மட்டும் தனியா differentiate பண்ணோம், but in the first term I have two terms in terms of x, so we'll have to use uv method. According to uv, that is become u dash v plus v dash u, such that this function will become u dash x differentiate பண்ணீங்கன்னா that is 1 into e power x plus x into e power x will become once again e power x only, there is no changes in the differentiation, right? Minus x differentiate பண்ணீங்கன்னா it will become 1 plus 2 into cos x differentiate பண்ணீங்கன்னா minus sin x and then 1 differentiate பண்ணீங்கன்னா that will be 0. Whereas let's go ahead with the denominator, x differentiate பண்ணீங்கன்னா 1 minus that is uv once again, x differentiate பண்ணீங்கன்னா 1 into cos x, right? We have a minus common, right? So let us consider plus because the formula we have plus. Similarly, keep x itself, cos x differentiate, you are getting minus sin x, such that if you open up the brackets, so minus ulla pass panina, it will become minus cos x plus x into sin x. Clear? That is the next step that we are getting. Now let us substitute x equal to 0. If I substitute x equal to 0, e power 0 become 1 plus this total term is going to be 0 minus 1 plus 2 into, not plus, actually minus, because there we have a minus. Sin 0 will become 0 only, right? Whereas in the denominator 1 minus cos 0 1 plus x is 0 sin 0, that is also going to be 0, such that if you observe these things carefully, 1 minus 1 once again become 0, upon 1 minus 1 once again will become 0, again it will be in the form of indeterminate, right? So till it is in indeterminate format only, till it is in indeterminate format, right? So now in order to bring the answer, what we have to do, again we have to proceed with the one more differentiation. Yeah, okay. Next திரும்ப இன்னொரு டைம் டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் பண்ண, e power x டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் பண்ணா again e power x தான், right? இதை டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் பண்ணினா once again it will become what, e power x plus x into e power x னு வரும், கரெக்ட்டா? again minus 1 will become 0, 2 sin x டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் பண்ணினா 2 into cos x ஆ மாறிடும். okay fine, go to the denominator. denominatorல 1 டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் பண்ணா 0 ஆயிடும், cos x டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் பண்ணா minus sin x, already one more minus will be there such that it will become plus sin x. next x into sin x டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் பண்ணினா it will become plus x differentiate பண்ணும்போது sin x, that is uv plus x into cos x, அவ்வளவுதான் uv, right? fine, let us substitute once again. The limits are limit x is approaching 0 such that e power 0 will become 1, e power 0 will become 1, 1 plus 1 will become 2, plus this total term will be 0 because x equal to 0, minus 2 into cos 0 also will become 1 upon sin 0 0 plus sin 0 0 plus total term will become 0, right? such that what happens, once again we are getting 0 by 0 form only. Proceed further, we have to obtain what I can say determinant form, right? This is, sir இவ்வளோ லென்த்தியாக கொஸ்டின் வருமான்னு நீங்கள் கேட்கலாம், கண்டிப்பாக வராது, ஐ நோ. இது வந்து உங்களுக்கு புரியணுன்றதுக்காக நான் இந்த கொஸ்டினை எடுத்தேன், ரைட்? இந்த ஒரு கொஸ்டின் உங்களுக்கு தெளிவாக ப்ரொசீஜர் புரிஞ்சிடும், அதுக்கப்புறம் மற்ற கொஸ்டின்லாம் நீங்களே போட்டுருவீங்க, அதுக்காக தான் நான் இதை எடுத்தேன், ரைட்? ஸோ தட் இஸ் யூ நோ நீட் டு பி பேனிக். லெட்ஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் அவர் ஜர்னி வித் திஸ். see x into x power x plus e power x plus e power x become twice of e power x such that sin x plus sin x will become 2 times of sin x. Let's start our journey. One time differentiation, one more time differentiation. Limit x is approaching 0. Once again 2 into e power x will become e power x plus x into e power x will give you e power x plus x into e power x minus 2 into cos x will become once again minus sin x, so such that will become plus sin x upon 2 into sin x will give you cos x plus x into sin x, sorry, x into cos x will give you cos x minus x into sin x. Now if I substitute x equal to 0, then what happened? This total term will be 0. If I substitute x equal to 0, then this total term set to be 0. If I substitute x equal to 0, then 2 plus 1 will become 3, right? So let's start our journey with this. So in the numerator, e power 0 will be 1, e power 0 will be 1, so this total value will be 3, plus this term also going to be 0, right? Denominator will become, so numerator all values will be 0, 2 into 0, cos 0 will be 1, now 2 into 1 plus 1 is going to be 3, right? And the term is completely 0, so if you cancel 3 by 3 you are going to get 1. So finally we got the answer happily for the given indeterminate function, right? So let us take one more example, right? Because there are numerous examples, right, for this type of functions. Let's try and bring the answer. Numerator தனியா differentiate பண்ணனும், denominator தனியா differentiate பண்ணனும், அதை மட்டும் மைண்ட்ல வச்சுக்கிட்டு just you can proceed further, you will get the answer for all type of functions. Fine, right? So let us solve the next question. The question is limit x power 3 minus cos x upon x power 2 plus sin x whole power 2, right? Sin x whole power 2, and the limit x is approaching infinity, right? So let's try and bring the answer for this function. Shall we try? Yes. Anyway, they are given 4 options. Option A infinity, option B 0, option C 2, I think option D does not exist. Solution does not exist for the given function. Shall we proceed? Yes. Substitute x equal to 0. If I replace x by 0, then 0 minus cos 0 will become 1, right? So x equal to 0 upon x க்கு இங்க போட்டீங்கன்னா that will become 0, right? Plus this is going to be what? This is sin 0, right? Sin 0, sin of 0. Is it cos x or sin x? Yeah, that is cos x only, right? So sin 0 whole square. Now what we got here? 0 minus 1 upon 0 plus sin 0 will become 0 only, na, such that minus 1 upon 0. Minus 1 by 0 is another minus infinity, right? So just to consider the magnitude, just to consider the that is value here, because in the option they are considering only infinity, na. So option will be there. So the thing is, oh, x equal to infinity, yeah. Sorry guys. Yeah, x equal to infinity. Sorry. I did not notice. Forgive me. X equal to infinity, now what is the answer? Let's see. X equal to infinity போடுங்க. Infinity cube minus cos of infinity upon infinity square plus sin infinity, right? Sin infinity square. See, one thing you all have to understand now. What is the value of sin infinity? Sin infinity and cos infinity. See, sin infinity is lies in between minus 1 to plus 1. நீங்கள் இன்ஃபினிட்டிக்கே போனாலும் சைனோட வேல்யூ என்னது? மினிமம் வேல்யூ மைனஸ் 1 தான், மேக்ஸிமம் வேல்யூ ப்ளஸ் 1 தான். இதை தாண்டி சைன் போகாது, ரைட்? அதே மாதிரி காசுக்கும் அதே தான். நீங்கள் காசுக்கு இன்ஃபினிட்டிக்கே போனாலும் ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்டட் வேல்யூ சைனோட மேக்ஸிமம் வேல்யூ ப்ளஸ் 1 டு மைனஸ் 1 தாங்க. நீங்கள் எவ்வளோ வேல்யூ போட்டால் என்ன? அது ஒரு பீரியாடிக் சிக்னல். அதோட மேக்ஸிமம் வேல்யூ ப்ளஸ் 1, மினிமம் வேல்யூ மைனஸ் 1, அகைன் ப்ளஸ் 1 மைனஸ் 1, ப்ளஸ் 1 மைனஸ் 1, ப்ளஸ் 1 மைனஸ் 1. தட்ஸ் ஆல். There are no changes. அதை தாண்டி உங்களால் போக முடியாது with a sinusoidal signal. So you don't need to be panic about these two persons. We can say there will be definitely in the cos infinite value வந்து என்ன வந்திருக்குன்னா minus 1க்கும் plus 1க்கும் நடுவில் இருக்க ஒரு finite value தான் இருந்திருக்கும். So in this case அப்போ நம்ம ஒரு finite value கூட infinity கூட கன்சிடர் பண்ணுறோம்னா infinity only will exist. Infinity minus finite will be infinity minus sin infinity, once again bounded value. So finite value plus infinity value will become infinity only. So it is in the form of infinity by infinity. So in order to solve this one, just to take this function once again, limit x is approaching infinity. Take numerator தனியா differentiate பண்ணுங்க, denominator தனியா differentiate பண்ணுங்க. Numerator differentiate பண்ணா I am getting 3x square minus cos x differentiate பண்ணா sin x, that is minus sin x, such that minus into minus will become plus. Denominator x square differentiate பண்ணினா 2x, right? Sin x whole square differentiate பண்ணினா that will become 2 sin x. Inner differentiation, sin x differentiate பண்ணினா that will give you the value of cos x. Listen, whole square will give you 2 into sin x, right? Why I am putting plus, that is 2 sin x. Inner differentiation, sin differentiation you are getting cos. Let's try and substitute the value. Once again, sin infinity, cos infinity, that is they are bounded, that value will be restricted. In infinity substitute, infinity plus finite will become infinity. Again, finite plus infinity will become, once again it is in the form of infinity upon infinity only. So we have to reduce this function further. Actually, I'm not feeling well, so I'm unable to deliver the content. Fine. Let's continue our journey with this. Next, still we are facing the same problem, right? Indeterminate form. So what I have to do? Let's continue. 3x square differentiate பண்ணுங்க. Again, it is going to be 6x. Sin x differentiate பண்ணினா it will give you cos x upon 2x differentiate பண்ணினா 2. Again, sin x differentiate பண்ணினா cos x. 2 cos x. Okay, here I think we have two people, right? So we have two persons, that is cos x will be there, sin x will be there. You have to go with the UV format. First we shall take sin x differentiate, it will become cos x into cos x plus cos x differentiate, that will become what? Minus sin x. Cos x differentiate minus sin x into, already we have one more person, that is sin x only. Anyway, what is the conclusion here? It is bounded, it is strictly bounded. I don't need to be panic about this one. But in the numerator what? So bounded plus bounded, this total value. So sin cos x into cos x will become cos square x. Let me write 6x plus cos x upon 2 plus 2 into, it is going to be cos square x minus sin square x. Clear? That is going to be cos square x minus sin square x, right? Now let's continue. We have to rub this one, right? If I'll substitute the value x equal to infinity, the problem is in the numerator, again we are facing what? Infinity only. Guys, listen, but finally we got the answer. The answer is, if I let x equal to infinity, what will happen? 6 into infinity will become infinity only, plus cos infinity, that is finite value. Finite plus infinity will be infinity only. In the denominator, 2 plus 2 into cos value should always be restricted in between -1 to +1 only. So the maximum value provided by this function also finite only. That is finite. Now what is the conclusion? Finite plus finite. In the denominator we have finite. We have finite value because all are finite now. This is finite, 2 is finite, 2 is finite. Such that overall value is finite only. Infinity by finite will be infinity only. This is not indeterminate format. That is what? Determinate format only. For an example, see infinity by finite value of it might be 10 or 20, 100. Infinity by 10 evlo? Infinity only. So the answer is what? Infinity. Right? So the correct answer is option A. Yeah. Let us discuss about next one. Fine. The next given question is limit x is approaching 0 and they said x into sine of 1 by x is what? X into sine of 1 by x is what? They are given 4 options. Option A they said infinity. Option B they said 0. Option B they said 1. Option D does not exist. Does not exist. Does not exist. Start பண்ணலாமா x க்கு 0 போடுங்க. If I substitute x equal to 0 it will become 0, right? Into sine of 1 by infinity is what? Sorry, x equal to 0. 0 is what? It is in sine of infinity. Sine infinity. What is the answer? Is it indeterminate format? No. Why? Because I only told you sine of infinity should be strictly lies in between -1 to +1 only. So it might be lies in between -1 க்கும் +1 க்கும் நடுவுல indeterminate value எல்லாம் கிடையாது. It might be -0.7, 0.8, 0.6, 0.4, 0.3, 0, anything, right? So all are bounded value only. So bounded into 0 will become 0, right? So the answer is what? 0. Option B. Very simple question, right? Next is sin theta by theta, right? No, sin m theta by theta, mama. So let me rub this one. Let us select the next question. Yeah. The next question is sin m theta by, so limit theta is approaching 0. The answer for sin m times of theta by theta, right? M times of theta by theta, where a is, that is option A they said, that is a is equal to m. Option B they said m times of pi. Option C they said m times of theta. Option D they said 1. What is the answer? Shall we proceed? Yes, let's try and figure out the answer. If I will substitute theta equal to 0, then sin 0 will become 0 upon theta equal to 0, 0 by 0, that is indeterminate form. That is indeterminate form. So what we have to do? We have to do differentiation. Numerator differentiate panna cos theta varum. Inner differentiation m into theta will give you one more m. Denominator theta differentiate panna 1 aadum. Let's repeat. Now we have to substitute limit theta equal to 0. Cos 0, 1. 1 into m, m. So what is the answer? M is the answer. Okay. Yeah. Now the next question is limit x is approaching 0 and the answer is, we should raise 1 by 10 dot 1 minus e power minus j times of 5x upon 1 minus e power minus j times of x. That is the question, right? We should raise x equal to 0. X is 0 podanga, it is become 1 by 10 dot 1 minus e power minus j 5. I am replacing x by 0. Denominator 1 minus e power minus j into 0, such that what will be the answer? 1 upon 10. Okay, e power 0 1, e power 0 1, so 1 minus 1 upon 1 minus 1, what will be the answer? 0 by 0 form. That is called indeterminate form. Indeterminate form. That is going to be indeterminate form only. Now what we have to do? Let's continue our journey with this. So that is 1 by 10. Numerator differentiate பண்ணுங்க. 1 differentiate பண்ணா 0 minus e power j 5x. அதை differentiate பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னா minus j times of 5 into e power minus j 5x. Denominator 1 differentiate பண்ணா once again 0 minus j into e power minus jx. Correct? Such that what happens here? So the thing is, it is going to be limit x is tending, that is x is approaching 0, right? So that is going to be 1 upon 10 into minus will become plus, so plus j times of 5 into e power 0 is going to be 1 now. Denominator minus into minus will become plus j times of e power 0 will be 1, such that what happened? J getting cancelled and we are getting 5 by 10, right? So if I'll cancel it 1 by 2 or it is equal to 0.5. Once again I have to check the options. Yes, 0, 1.5, 0.5, 1 are the options. So the correct answer is 0.5. So let us discuss about the next one. The next question is limit n is approaching infinity. N is approaching infinity such that your function will become n upon under root of n square plus n. That is the given. N square plus n is dash. And they are given options. Option A 1 by 2. Option B 0. Option C infinity. Option D 1. Can anyone please try the answer? Yes. Let's see. If I directly substitute n equal to infinity, numerator will become infinity, denominator also will become infinity. But you know one thing, நான் ஒரு விஷயம் சொல்லியிருந்தேன் எப்பயுமே, நீங்கள் எந்த ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன்லையுமே ஃபைனல் வேல்யூ சப்ஸ்டியூட் பண்ணுறீங்க அப்படின்னா, ரைட்? ஸோ see the n is approaching infinity. While substituting the final values, what I had been told you, you have to cancel the highest power of the numerator with respect to denominator. நீங்கள் எந்த வேல்யூக்கு வந்து இன்ஃபினிட்டியை சப்ஸ்டியூட் பண்ண போகிறீங்களோ அந்த வேல்யூ நியூமரேட்டரில் இருந்தது அப்படின்னா அந்த வேல்யூவை டினாமினேட்டரில் இருக்க வேல்யூவால் கேன்சல் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணணும். ஃபார் தட் நியூமரேட்டர் we have n power 1. அதே n power 1 denominator வந்து வெளில எடுத்து you have to check. For an example, let us see limit n just I am letting to approach infinity. Numerator n is okay. Denominator n square வெளில எடுங்க, it will become n, such that in bracket it will become 1 plus 1 by n. Correct? Of course that is correct, right? So next if I will pass n உள்ள நீங்க பாஸ் பண்ணிட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா it will become what? n square plus n. அதே ஃபார்மேட்டுக்கு வந்துரும். Let's see, this n is getting cancelled. Now you can substitute 1 upon under root of 1 plus 1 by n க்கு infinity substitute பண்ணுங்க, 1 by infinity, such that it is going to be, answer is what? 1 by infinity 0, 0 plus 1 1, root of 1 1. So the correct answer is 1. What is the option? Option D. Yeah. So far I am waiting for this one only. Let's take the next one. That is the next model. Okay, the question is once again limit x is approaching a, x minus a in the power of x minus a, x minus a in the power of x minus a. Let's see what happened. Guys listen. இப்போ நீங்கள் எக்ஸுக்கு பதிலாக a substitute பண்ணிங்கன்னா it will become, right? It will become, if I will substitute, it will become what? A minus a 0, numerator that is in the power also 0 power 0. Now let's rise 1 power infinity, comma 0 power 0, comma, right? I said that is 0 power infinity, right? If you find any terms like this, they are all called what? Indeterminate form. For this format, what you have to do? Step number 1. இந்த மாதிரி ஃபார்மேட்டில் வரும்போதோ, ரைட், in order to find out the solution for this function, right, you will have to consider, that is, for example, in the whole function வந்து you have to take as y. y in எடுத்துக்கிட்டா, what you have to do? You have to raise, you have to take ln on both sides. Right? If you find any format like this, in the format la vandadhu appadina, we have to take ln such that limit x is approaching a. If I'll take ln for this function, it will become ln of, right, x minus a whole power x minus a. then you can reduce. What we know, we all know ln of a power b will become what? B into ln a. Yes, such that your limit is going to be limit x is approaching a, and this one will become ln of a power b become b into ln a, b into ln of a only, x minus a. That is correct, right? Any mistakes? No, all are correct. Now if I'll substitute, still I am not getting the proper value. If you x க்கு வந்து a ன்னு substitute பண்ணீங்கன்னா a minus a become what? 0 into ln of, again if I'll substitute a, that is a minus a become 0, such that 0 into ln 0 will become infinity. That is 0 into infinity. Ln 0 will be infinity, so such that we are getting what? 0 into infinity. This is also what? Indeterminate format only. Now in order to bring the solution for this function, first of all guys listen. இப்போ உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஃபங்க்ஷன் வந்து இந்த ஃபார்மேட்ல வந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா, எந்த ஃபார்மேட்லனா 0 into infinity ஃபார்மேட்ல வந்துச்சுன்னா, first of all you should transform it into 0 by 0 form or infinity by infinity form. இது வரைக்கும் நம்ம பார்த்தது எல்லாமே இந்த ரெண்டு ஃபார்மேட்ல தான் இருந்திருக்கும், கரெக்டா? ஸோ நீங்க இந்த ஃபார்மேட்ல இதை எழுதணும். எப்படி எழுதலாம்? ஃபார் தட் லெட் மீ ரைட். இந்த ஃபங்க்ஷன் நம்ம வேற எப்படி எழுதலாம் அப்படின்னா, ln of x minus a upon, in the denominator we can write 1 by x minus a. Shall we write the format like this? Of course. இப்போ நீங்க சப்ஸ்டிட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா x க்கு a சப்ஸ்டிட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா, see ln of a minus a will give you infinity. Here also 1 by 0 will give you infinity. It will be in the form of infinity by infinity. Just pass. ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு டேர்ம் நீங்க டினாமினேட்டருக்கு பாஸ் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா it will become in the form of 0 into infinity will be transformed as 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity, such that then you can proceed further. Do one time differentiation. Numerator differentiate பண்ணீங்கன்னா that will be 1 by x minus a. That is ln of x differentiation will be 1 by x divided by 1 by x minus a differentiate பண்ணீங்கன்னா minus 1 by x minus a whole square, correct? Such that one term is getting cancelled and we are getting what? Minus of x minus a. Right, because see there, அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு term cancel ஆயிடும். At last what we are going to get? We are going to get ஒரு term மட்டும் இங்க exist ஆகும், right? 1 by x minus a, 1 by x minus a. Denominator of denominator again will coming to the numerator. Now you can replace x by a such that a minus a will become 0 only, right? So they are given four options, 1 infinity, 0 and a. So the correct answer is what? That is equal to 0. See, wait, I have not complete the question first. Ln y equal to 0, right? So we got ln y, left hand side la ln y irukilla, we don't have y, that is ln y, right? Sorry, next what we have to do in the next step, ln y equal to 0 we can raise, y is equal to e power 0 such that your answer is going to be 1. So the correct answer for this function is 1 only. Let me repeat once again, listen. Whenever your function will be in the form of 1 power infinity, 0 power 0 or 0 power infinity, what you have to do, you have to raise ln on both sides. You have to take ln on both sides. That is the step number 1. அதுக்கப்புறம் நீங்க ln raise பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா, again substitute the values, right? நீங்க substitute பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகும்னா, it will be in the form of 0 dot infinity ல வரும். So we have to transform. இத வந்து நீங்க 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity formatல எழுதணும். எழுதி முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் in the next step what will be your answer? Again do the differentiation பண்ணிட்டு வேல்யூ சப்ஸ்டிட் பண்ணிட்டு ln திரும்ப அந்த பக்கம் பாஸ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. நீங்க ln எடுத்துக்கிங்களே ரெண்டு பக்கமும், திரும்ப you have to cancel, you have to take anti-log such that ln அந்த பக்கம் பாஸ் பண்ணா it will go. ln போகும்போது என்ன ஆகும்? e power, that is we have to take, actually it means in both sides we are taking exponential. e power க்கு நீங்க ரைஸ் பண்றீங்கன்னு அர்த்தம். e power ln y will become y, so here it is become what? e power 0, so e power 0 will be equal to 1. Clear? That is the standard procedure when we have these three formats. Clear? I hope things are very clear to you all. I think I found one more question in this same model. Wait a minute. I don't know where it is, that one. If I'll find it, I will solve that question also now itself. Okay, I think I don't remember where is that question. No, that is not available. Okay, but I think that is n power 1 by n, right? So let us check whether that is correct or not. That question is n power 1 by n with n equal to 0 something they told, right? See, let's see. Okay, let us see. Let me take one more example. That is n is approaching 0, n power 1 by n. That is the function. Let us take f of n. That is the, now we have to find the answer for this one. Let us substitute. Limit. If I substitute n equal to 0, automatically become 0 in the power what? 1 by 0 is going to be infinity. See there, it is indeterminate form. So what do you have to do? Take ln on both sides. So let me treat this function as y. Take ln on both sides such that ln y will become, which is equal to limit n is approaching 0. If we take ln for this, automatically become 1 by n into ln n. 1 by n into ln n, right? Now what is our next task? If we substitute n equal to 0, what will become? 1 by 0 will become infinity, right? 1 by 0 will become infinity. Ln of 0, that is also become infinity only, right? So if I substitute n equal to 0, I am getting what? 1 by 0 dot, it is going to be ln 0. Ln 0. Now 1 by 0 will be infinity dot, ln 0 will become infinity, infinity dot infinity will become infinity only, right? So the answer is what? Infinity, right? I don't find that question, I don't know where is that one. You just keep it, right? Okay, that is going to be the answer for the given function. That is how we are solving indeterminate form. I hope things are very clear to you all, right? So let me rub these things. Okay, so after understanding this much about the indeterminate format, what is our next target? We have to understand the limits, right? So slightly we have to extend our discussion, and we have to get the clear idea about continuity and discontinuity, at the same time differentiation and what I can say, எந்த இடத்துல வந்து ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன் வந்து கண்டினியூஸாக இருக்கும், right? How do I find whether the given function is continuous or not, right? Whether the limit will exist or not, we have to understand that one, right? But I'm doing that things in our tomorrow class because I'm not feeling well, I'm unable to continue the lecture, right? My energy level is almost, I'm trying, right? Fine, so let's wind up with this. If you have any other doubts, you can post it in the group. Okay, thank you all.